ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Druk's Milan Unboxing. We've got a great weekend ahead of us. We will crown the #1 fighter in the world in two weight divisions, at junior middleweight and at cruiserweight. And we will also find out if we have a rising new middleweight star, somebody who will eventually be a good B-side for Canelo Alvarez. But let's start with the big boys. You all know one of my favorite things is the World Boxing Super Series, and in Munich, Germany on Saturday we will have a final of the World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight tournament, the second edition of that tournament, and that bout will crown a new Ring Magazine champion of the world, as well as the IBF champion, and that is of course Yuniel Dorticos, the Cuban now residing in Miami, will be defending his belt against a former WBC champion from Latvia, Mairis Briedis. Now that is a great thing. You've got the #1 and #2 in the world against each other, the IBF belt on the line, the ring belt on the line, and the Muhammad Ali trophy of World Boxing Super Series. And it's one of these pick-em fights where I've been going back and forth, and I struggle to make up my mind. Now Yuniel Dorticos carries the IBF strap into the fight, and he's got the nickname the KO Doctor. 22 knockouts on his 24-1 record. So this guy can really punch. I think it's safe to say he is the premier puncher in the cruiserweight division. Ilunga Makabu here from my side of the pond. He's a WBC champion, and he's got very, very heavy hands, and he puts people down. But Dorticos, mostly when he puts you down, you stay down. He's got that one-shot power. And on the other hand, we've got Mairis Briedis, the guy from Latvia. He's 26-1 with 19 knockouts, very respectable power, but more of a boxer. And former WBC champion, he won that title against Marco Huck, defended it against Mike Perez before losing it to Alexander Usyk in his only loss. And he took Usyk to the absolute limit. He is the guy who came closest to beating Alexander Usyk. He lost a majority decision there to Usyk in the previous installment of the World Boxing Super Series. Took him all the way in a great fight that took place there in Riga, Latvia. Now, Dorticos, on the other hand, he's also been in some wars. He had a terrific war years back with Yuri Kalenga. He was WBA champion during that run. He knocked out Dmitry Kudrashov until he lost it in the previous installment of the World Boxing Super Series in an absolute war to Murat Gassiev, where he got stopped in the last round, and that's been his only loss. Now, for this installment, he had a tough fight against the Polish fighter Matthias Masternak, but in his last fight for the vacant IBF title, he faced unbeaten Andrew Tabiti, and he came through. In the 10th round, he knocked Tabiti cold with a terrific right hand, so he's got great momentum going in. Briedis, in the latest installment of the WBSS, a lot of people thought he was lucky to beat Noel Gavor in America, a German fighter, Gavor, German-based Armenian, and he got hit with a lot of right hands there. Didn't look very good. And in his last fight, he came out a TKO winner against former WBO champion Krzysztof Glowaski, but that was marred by controversy. It got untidy in the second round. Glowaski landed sort of a blow to the back of the head of Briedis, who's got a bad habit sometimes of turning himself away from his opponent, and Briedis retaliated with an elbow that caught Glowaski on the jaw and sent him down, and the referee missed the entire thing, and instead of giving Glowaski time to recover, he got up, he fought on, but Glowaski couldn't recover from that and was stopped in the third round. Controversial fight. It was for the WBO title. The WBO ordered a rematch. Briedis was tied into the final with Dorticos, so he will be coming in without any belt on Saturday. But if he wins, he will have not only the IBF belt, but the ring belt along with the Muhammad Ali trophy. Now, Briedis is more of a boxer. He's got quick feet. He fights more of a stand-up style, and he likes to box. If you push him like Usyk did, you know, then he will fight back and he will start brawling in spots. Respectable power, as I've said, but more of a boxer. You know, sometimes what I don't like about him is he jumps straight back and he seems to be susceptible to right hands. But he is definitely the busier of the two if I compare him to Dorticos. Dorticos is sort of a stalking puncher. And what I don't like about him, sometimes his work rate falls away and he just fights for the knockout. And he does take a lot of shots. But there's only one way you're really going to beat Dorticos. You're going to have to either box a masterclass and outwork him, and it's not easy to stay away from that power for 12 rounds. Or you're going to simply have to take it and keep hitting him back and really pushing hard until he wilts, like Murat Gassiev did. Now, it's a very hard fight to call because Briedis, I don't think he's as strong as Gassiev, and I don't think he hits quite as hard. It's not his style to push Dorticos backward. He is at a height and reach disadvantage, and he's going to have to box in and out and stay on his bicycle against Dorticos and simply outwork him. And that's what he's going to have to do there and stay out of trouble. And Dorticos, for his part, I struggle to see him winning on points against Briedis because I think he's just not busy enough. But he has been able to cut the ring down against Andrew Tabiti, and Tabiti just didn't have power to get his respect. So I think a lot of it depends on who hurts whom. If Briedis it's hard enough to make Dorticos think twice, he can simply outwork him and stay on his bicycle and stay out of trouble and win this fight on points. And that's the way I have been leaning on this one. But as I get closer to the fight, Dorticos has a height and reach advantage. They're both around the same age, 34 and 35. They both have somewhere in there in the clock. Dorticos have been in wars with Gassiev and Kalenga way back then. And so has Briedis with Usyk. And I just think Dorticos has got a better momentum now. He looks sort of rejuvenated. I don't think Briedis is the kind of guy who's going to push him hard enough to make him wilt. He's going to try and box and win this on points. And I think Briedis may have slipped a little bit. He seems to get hit a little bit more to me. It could just be my imagination. But Briedis just doesn't look the same to me, you know, and I can throw the Glowacki fight out because of that elbow smash that happened there. So I'm going to tentatively stick my neck out here and say that I think Mairis Briedis is going to edge ahead in this fight just because he's busier. But I think he gets caught with right hands, and I think Dorticos is going to catch him like he will catch Dorticos. But I think Dorticos is a guy who's in the end going to hurt Briedis. And so I'm going to go with Dorticos here to score another sort of come from behind or in a very even fight and stop Briedis somewhere around round 9. So I'm going to go with a KO doctor on Saturday to retain his IBF belt, lift Muhammad Ali trophy above his head, and become the Ring Magazine Cruiserweight Champion of the world. So that's my opinion on Dorticos versus Briedis. Enjoy the fight. Please give this channel a like and subscribe. And until we see each other again, keep those gloves up.